This is Robert Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the LD Micro Main Event 2015 in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Adi Mohanty from BioTime. The symbol is BTX. Adi, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's great to have you on. So before we get started, let's get an overview of BioTime.
Sure. BioTime's been around for a few years, but it's been through many different evolutions. And the latest iteration of BioTime started around 2008 when Dr. Michael West joined the company and made it a regenerative medicine company. Today, I would say BioTime is the preeminent leading regenerative medicine company in the space. What Mike did was went out and collected the best assets in regenerative medicine all under one umbrella, and that's BioTime. And he could do that because, honestly, Mike's almost like the father of regenerative medicine. He knows all these assets. He was the founder of Geron, so he did all the early work in regenerative medicine. And it's interesting because to me, as you study different technologies and platforms, timing is a lot to do with everything. And right now, it's almost 17, 18 years since the first discovery of the early embryonic cell derivations. That's the regenerative medicine beginning. What happens with most technologies, it takes about 20 years for them to mature. People forget antibodies, monoclonal antibodies, recombinant DNA, all of those things for the first 15 years were floundering. Even Genentech, you look at the 80s and those things were like, wow, this will never amount to anything. Took about 20 years for the first product, and look at where they are today, multi-billion dollars. Well, regenerative medicine has had its 17, 18 years. We're at the cusp of what I think will be that next revolution of great products, and BioTime will be the leading company in that space.
So before I get into an update, I have to know, why is the time now?
Well, in the last few months, Pfizer's made a huge investment in regenerative medicine. AstraZeneca's made a huge investment. One of our competitors, Okada, just got bought for $380 million in cash. It was a one-product company, RPE cells, but we have a similar competing product. We believe ours is better. We're slightly behind them in the clinic, but we have several competitive advantages. But beyond that, we are a platform company. So we could have many products behind that. We have some in our clinic, we have some in our discovery. So we think that that is a wonderful time for people to start looking at when Big Pharma wakes up and starts to say, hey, I think this space is starting to mature. Products are coming into second, later stages of clinic. Absolutely, I believe in 2 or 3 years there'll be products on the market. So timing is great. BioTime is the only other pluripotent stem cell company that's public in the world.
So what I'm curious about with regard to the regenerative medicine market and the types of products that will be going to market, what would that look like? I mean, are we talking about pills that you'll take and then that will, regenerate a busted liver or something of the sort? What will that be?
I know. I think it's so cool. Often when you talk about pills or other pharmaceuticals or therapies, and I came from there, right? I spent 11 years with Shire before I came here. We did some great work replacing proteins or providing molecules that would help the body deal with the disease, but it doesn't really address the core cause. And so what regenerative medicine can do is go to the cause itself. Example is the dry AMD. When you get older, and there's a lot of these people now, a good percentage of them start to go blind because of two reasons. The RPE cells, the retinal cells in the back of your eye, they start to wear out, and either they start bleeding and you get wet AMD, or they start going like Mike calls it, a grass fire, and start eroding and there's no cells left, and so you start going blind. There's no cure for that. People try to figure out, can we give them a pill? You can't, because these cells do so many things. They're complicated, human beings are complicated. So the only way we know that we'll absolutely cure it is if we could replace those cells. Most people don't have them. Well, we have those cells. So what we do is there's a way with a small needle and a simple procedure to inject the cells in the back of the eye. Those cells attach to the retina and create a new layer. So now you have young cells, and they can last hopefully for the rest of the life of that person. So that's the kind of cures that regenerative medicine can.
So it's mostly procedural. That's what I was getting at.
It would be mostly procedural. It would be providing them with new young cells that can correct the problem they're having through a procedure, and most likely one time and never again for the rest of their life.
Okay, so as I said, the last time we spoke with you guys was, well, with Dr. West actually, was last year at this conference. So
Yeah.
we have to get an update. What's been going on in 2015?
A lot. That's a year I have spent with BioTime. It's been almost a year. I'm surprised it's gone that fast, but we've done a lot. So we are now evolving to a more mature company. We're bringing in professional managers to match up with the fantastic foundational science that we have, so that all that vision that Mike had, we can make that a reality. So what we have started to do is, with the professional management, we just hired a new CFO. We're getting a stronger clinical group. We've moved our products into the clinic. We now have 4 different clinical trials ongoing. We have a phase 1 in the dry AMD space. We have a pivotal trial in facial lipoatrophy where we're trying to create volume for especially people with HIV that, you can see them, they get gaunt. So we provide them with a procedure that one time can create this tissue on their skin. And so we've got products that are moving into the clinic. But more importantly, a lot of the last few years was about collecting and building assets. Starting in 2015, we're going to focus. We're saying, look, we've got great opportunities. We're not going to get rid of them, but we can do 2 or 3 really well. And that's what we're going to do first. We're going to continue to evolve the structure of BioTime so it's easier for outsiders to understand. We understand it very well. Outsiders have trouble. They look at it and say, wow, you're doing so many different things. And even though we think we can, I understand it's hard for people to get their head around it. So we're committed to, in 15 we started it, and through 16, simplifying it so clearly people will know that BioTime is a cell therapy company with the best cell delivery mechanism in the world. The other things that we have will become investments that will add value to BioTime investors, but will not distract the core BioTime from its purpose, which is to create the best cell therapies out there and be the leader in regenerative medicine.
Okay, so it leads into my next question with regard to the focus for the company. I guess this is more leading into 2016, but this past year it sounds like you did a lot of work to really narrow that focus. So you said there's about 2 or 3 targets that are of primary focus for the company. Can you explain those?
Sure. We're committed to the dry AMD space and the ophthalmology space, so we have some really good, like I mentioned before, a product for dry AMD, but which could be used in many other ophthalmology-related diseases, and that product is Oprogen. And that product, we believe, is better than anything else out there because it is animal-free. We have full donor certification. It is easier to use, so it's like a 10-minute procedure compared to others who take 45 minutes to an hour. So we believe we have a fantastic product. We're going to keep moving that through the clinic and see if we can expand uses of that product. We have a product that delivers cells, and we're committed to that. So that is, everybody in the cell therapy industry over the last few years, what they started to do was just shoot up people with cells. That doesn't really work. There's no science that says, I like to give people this example. A lot of people are trying to cure heart issues with the heart with injecting cells. So here you have a heart, and you inject some cells into it. And then you talk to those companies, they say, well, we got 1% of them retained. Well, so is that a problem? Oh, no, we'll just give them more. Well, there's no science that says that will work. You can't keep doing that. What you need is a way for the cells to be localized, find a nice home, grow until they are comfortable and attached. The only way to do that is through a delivery mechanism that we have. And we got that because, like I said, Mike understands the space so well. We early on realized you can't just have cells, you have a way to deliver it. So we're doing a trial with that cell delivery matrix. Renivia is the product, that's what we call it. That trial is in a pivotal trial in Europe. And so what we're doing is taking the person's own fat cells, injecting it in the face, and creating tissue. It does multiple things. One, it'll be a product in about a year or so. We'll read out the data from the trial so we can actually sell it. But much more than that, what I'm excited about is that will be the first full human data on a delivery matrix, and the world will know that if you want to deliver cells, you got to have this product. That's a big part of our two leading programs that we have. We're going to continue discovery. We're going to continue we have some great assets around brown fat. We have some great assets around cardiovascular, but we're going to make sure that it's the right size and shape of investment in that area, that we don't want to lose it, but we also don't want it to distract from the primary focus.
I had a follow-up question about the delivery platform. So what's the business strategy behind that? And then also with regard to the FDA, what is the approval process and how does that all work?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a lawyer and say it depends, but it does depend on the kind of use you want to do with the delivery platform. For us, the business strategies, we absolutely intend to use our delivery platform for the various cell therapies we're in, but I think there's a great opportunity for us to monetize it and for the industry to use this delivery platform because they're already interested. They're calling us saying, wow, you know what, we tried it, just injecting it, it's not working, so they're already calling us. So for us to be able to license that or partner that in various ways to many different cell therapy companies, there are many spaces we'll never be in, and it's a great way for us to start monetizing that. Some cases, you may need no approval. But in many cases, depending on what the product is that is going to be combined with the delivery platform, it could be a full BLA, which means a full trial. And I think it's a right time for those companies early on to start including our platform. So the sooner they do it, the better off we are and the better off they are.
And also, okay, so moving ahead, as we said, we're almost done with 2015.
Yeah.
Going into 2016, what are some of the milestones and goals going into the new year, from what you can tell me?
Yeah, I can tell you, and I tell everybody, we're going to be committed to continuing to simplify the structure and the business of BioTime so everybody understands it easily. We're absolutely going to continue to make this management team the right team that can take our priority programs into that next stage. And we're going to keep pushing our trials forward because we've got a great product in phase 1. We've got a product in a pivotal trial in Europe. We're going to keep moving those ahead. And definitely we're going to look more to figure out ways to monetize our assets by partnering or other business relationships in the coming year.
Okay, Adi, I'm also very curious. What's your background?
I came to BioTime about a year ago. Before that, I spent about 11 years with Shire, and I joined a small company called TKT that did rare diseases, gene therapy, enzyme replacement, many different modalities, but rare disease specific. That got acquired by Shire. I had the pleasure of going from zero revenue in a small company to over $2 billion in revenue. I spent a lot of time in Boston and then Switzerland running the global business of rare diseases for Shire. At the last part of it, I was helping Shire build a regenerative medicine business unit. But then the CEO change happened, strategy change happened. Shire decided that they wanted to be only a rare disease company. So I helped them sell that business, and at the end of which I was invited to come look at BioTime. And when I came to BioTime, I saw that they had these wonderful assets that we would have wanted in that rare disease and regenerative medicine business unit. So that's how I ended up with BioTime. Long before that, I was with a much bigger company called Baxter, and that was, going to school or learning the basics and foundation.
Where can our audience go and find more information about BioTime?
We welcome everybody to come look at biotimeinc.com. There's a lot of information, and also there's an email address. We're happy to interact and answer questions anytime, so please send questions and we'll be happy to talk to you.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the LD Micro Main Event 2015 in Bel Air, California. With me again has been Adi Mohanty from BioTime. The symbol again is BTX. Adi, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.